Okie dokie. Good day, everybody. This is James from MarketsAware, bringing you your daily insight on the 1st of September 2016 with love and care, as always, from MarketsAware, with our association with our partner, International Bullion Network. Now, today we're going to talk about the greenback. Moving on to the first couple of days of September, we are starting this month, and it's a very exciting month indeed. But let's have a quick look on the first little bit of market action in the next couple of days. Starting off on the 1st of September at 12:30 p.m. GMT, we have the US initial claims. Expectation is for it to come in slightly higher than previous at 265. Opposite 261 previously. This is only of a medium importance, but still we need to keep a close eye on the dollar versus the majors, gold, S&P and the dollar index. Also on the 1st of September at 2 p.m. GMT, slightly more important, it's actually indeed of high importance, this one, is the US manufacturing PMI. Expectation is for it to come in slightly lower at 5.2 opposed to 5.26 previously. Again, we need to keep an eye on gold versus gold, of course, and dollar versus the majors, dollar index. Then, on the 2nd of September at 12:30 p.m. GMT, we have the US unemployment rate. Expectation is that the rate to come in actually lower at 4.8%, down from 4.9%. Not a massive drop, but still a big drop, a big difference in the unemployment level. This is, of course, of high importance. Of course, dollar versus the majors, gold and the S&P, dollar index, always ones to keep an eye on. And then the whole market will hold its breath because it's time for the circus. And what I mean by that, by the circus, of course, is the US NFP, which is indeed at the 2nd of September at 12:30 p.m. GMT. This is indeed of high importance, all those people I know out there. This is where the roller coaster begins. Expectation is for it to come in lower at 180, down from 255. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but this is going to be the main event this week where the market is really going to be keeping a very, very close eye, etc. Dollar versus the majors and gold and S&P, dollar index, of course, are the ones to watch. Moving on to a little bit why dollar is currently king, and my God, isn't it king at the moment? Yes, indeed it is. Now, the US dollar is actually riding high on the back of Janet Yellen's hawkish speech at Jackson Hole. Very hawkish, and in fact the market took it as a hint, as an indicator that they are really considering raising interest rates this month in September. Now, you know, this was a huge expectation. This might happen. A firm ADP employment figure, which came out yesterday, 177,000, has also given hope that the all-important NFP could come in higher than expected. If indeed the number is better, then of course it gives maybe the market the final reason to believe that the Fed might finally pull the trigger and indeed raise rates. Now, talking a little bit more about the NFP, yes, of course, the expectation is for it to come in 180, down from 255. But don't forget, last month, expectation was for it to come in lower again at 175, but in fact, it came in higher at 255. So there is a lot of excitement for the NFP. Like I say, the market, along with myself and everybody else, will indeed be holding its breath. And it means that September has the potential to rock. As it currently stands, let's have a quick look at, of course, the dollar index. Now, there's a dollar index on a daily. It is indeed sort of riding high, as high as a kite, so to speak. Due to the fact that obviously the dollar is a lot stronger against the basket of six. The bond is showing a potential resistance at 96.73.69, and then a potential support at 95.38.48. So yeah, indeed it is riding high. So of course the NFP is very important for this indice. Moving on to the dollar yen. The dollar again is indeed hitting the yen for 6, actually spanking it, so to speak. It's now trading above, slightly trading above the standard simple moving average. Okay, so it's now indicating that maybe the dollar has now turned the tide and is now on an uptrend. The SMA is actually indicating a potential support at 102.54. Then we're also currently testing a potential resistance according to the Bolly right now as we speak at 103.47, which means obviously with the NFP if it does come in better, etc, etc. The next realistically potential resistance, okay, is the mind game level, the psychological level at 104, but then really of course then we're going to be looking at the previous highs here and here for where the next potential resistance could be. And moving on to the euro dollar, the most traded currency pair, of course. This is on the daily. Of course, obviously, like everything else, it's being hit by the dollar at the moment. However, it's currently being held up by a potential support according to the simple moving average at 1.11303. So that's the support to really keep an eye on currently. There's actually, in fact, if you look, the last couple of sessions it's been testing it, so we need to watch that. Bolly's potential next support after that, according to the Bolly, is indeed at 1.10438, and just on the top side, in case we do get disappointing NFP information, the potential resistance is at 1.12084, according to the Bolly. And finally, moving on to gold. Poor old gold, poor bugger, getting hit big time. Currently under the simple moving average, which, as we can see, under a simple moving average, it does indicate a downtrend. This is on a daily chart. Potential resistance with the simple moving average, then in that case, is $1,336.63. The Bolly is also showing a potential support at $1,306.62. This is currently where we are at the moment, so it's testing that sort of level. So moving on to gold on a weekly, let's see if we can get a slightly clearer picture on this. First of all, the Bolly is showing a potential key support, and I guess this is a really key support because it will also be a psychological level of $1,301.98 if we get a higher NFP, if indeed we get a lot of momentum in the market and optimism of a rate increase. The Bolly is then showing a very scary next potential support on the weekly of $1,218.75. So the NFP, we've got a lot to answer for, my friend. What are you going to do? What are you going to give us? So let's all have a look what happens tomorrow with that. And as I always say, that's a wrap for now. Remember, this is no way to be taken as advice. It's purely for informative purposes only. Please do your own research and take your own due diligence. And, of course, be aware of the risks involved before entering any trade. Special thanks again to NetDania. This is James from MarketsAware with our association with the International Bullion Network. You trade safe.